guys? Black Scout Survival Late Night Live. Before we get into tonight, let me ask you a serious question. Has this ever happened to any of you guys? Yeah, me neither. So anyway, let me just talk about, we've been saying this for quite a while. You know it, I know it. There's been a spiritual battle going on, and the boys in blue arrested this young man that was out there reading scripture in Watertown, Wisconsin. So I'm going to throw this up real quick and let you just see what exactly happened here.
True love, serve one another. For all the law is fulfilled in one word, even in this, you shall love your neighbor as yourself. But if you bite and devour one another, beware lest you be consumed by one another.
Hey, what are you doing?
What is the problem?
What are you doing? What's wrong with you? What are you doing? I just think that my hand. You didn't give him any warning. You just grabbed the mic.
No, this is the same one that we had in here.
Yeah, that was in there. It was not out here. What is wrong with you? What are you doing? You didn't give us any warning.
Let it go. You guys have been warned.
They say we can they say we can speak out here on the sidewalk freely.
You can speak, but there's no amplified device.
Nobody told us that.
What are you doing? Nobody told me that. That's
Well, how come there's no amplification?
this.
Hey, you guys are acting like thugs, man. You're acting like straight up thugs.
Hey, you're taking away my property.
He has every right to be out here engaging in speech. He has every right to be out here engaging in speech. There's cars driving by with their radios playing, that's amplified sound. People are standing out here with radios, that's amplified sound. The ordinance has to do with a decibel gauge.
Yeah. So they allow the Alphabet Crew to do, things like this, and twerk in thongs in front of children. But a young man out there reading scripture gets arrested aggressively, mind you. And so this is actually the Watertown Police Department in Watertown, Wisconsin. And so here's a phone number if you'd like to call them tomorrow morning and voice your complaints. But yeah, this battle's spiritual, guys. You don't see this happening with any. It's always against Christians. That's how it is. Persecution is coming. Let's do a check-in with Bud Light real quick. Actually, New York Post said Bud Light distributors no longer expect sales to recover from Dylan Mulvaney disaster. Let me tell you right now, they will be talking about this. They'll be teaching about this in college for the next 100 years about what you don't do in marketing. Hopefully, a lot of other companies will wake up as well. Do I have any drone enthusiasts out there, the DJI's drones and stuff like that? China actually has announced that they will put export restrictions on drone related equipment, citing that it needs to protect national security. Now, what we do know is that we've seen drones used in the Ukraine. Ukrainians have used drones to, wage war. So maybe this is part of that, or just to try to eliminate America from getting access to these items to try to, put damage to the American citizen. They announced that the export restrictions on specific drone technologies and related equipment, citing that they need to protect the national security and interests amid rising tech-related tensions within the United States. Effectively, September 1st, these restrictions will impact drone engines, lasers, communication tools, and anti-drone systems, according to the Chinese Commerce Ministry. Civilian drones have also fallen under this export restriction, which will prohibit their exportation for military usage. A ministry spokesperson says that China's modest expansion of scope of its drone control this time is an important measure to demonstrate our stance as a responsible major country to implement global security initiatives and maintain world peace. So a sizable portion of drones sold are from the U.S., people making videos and things like that. And the majority of them are made, I think all of the drones are made in China for the most part, but we are the biggest consumer of drones. Okay. So yeah, DJI is the main company, the Mavic, stuff like that. They are very popular with civilians, and obviously people use them for business. You got real estate guys using them. You have people recording sporting events. You have YouTubers and all these sort of things. And DJI has responded to this, and they said that We've never designed and manufactured products and equipment for military use, nor have we ever marketed or sold our products to use in military conflicts or wars in any country. So this is just another strategy China's using to have tighter control over their high tech, high value exports. Other things like chip making, there was actually a big stir about that earlier today. I was reading about some components that they use to make certain chips that would be also controlled and not allowed for export. That would actually destroy a lot of things we use for various technologies and equipment. So this is where they're tightening the screws to the Americans, right? And that's just one part. This is fifth generation warfare, guys. And we're going to get into this. This is what the video is about tonight. But good luck getting a drone because they're all made in China. And what's always funny to me too is that you have these self-glorifying, virtue signaling patriots. Or don't buy anything other than American made. Now they'll make sell American made knives, and they'll be like, oh, I'm the most patriotic person because I sell American made knife. But you're using Chinese everything else. Everything else you're using Chinese equipment to even make your knives. Like, stop the virtue signaling. Politicians sold you out a long time ago. Okay, you can't put the onus on us. Politicians did that, lobbying that junk 30, 40 years ago. Our great grandfathers let this stuff go. So anyway, China malware. I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard this. This is very, very, very disturbing, especially because with the tensions we have, they found malware hidden in various U.S. military systems, and its intended use is disruption rather than surveillance, which is a disturbing change, and intent experts say that. That's the quote right there. So we go back to the balloon, and they're saying that wasn't for surveillance as well. So what are they setting up exactly? This is where a lot of people have speculated, oh, they're spying on us. They've been spying on us for years, guys. This is what are they planning? This is chess to these guys. It's fifth generation warfare. They're setting up their chessboard. Okay. So they said that the U.S. found a suspected Chinese malware across several military systems. And you want to know why? Because we're so focused on sexual diversity that we're not really worried about trying to be the most aggressive, violent military force in the world, right? So they go on to say that unlike previous attacks, that this is to disrupt our systems, right? It's all part of the plan. They disrupt our way of life. Americans will turn on each other. I've been saying that for quite some time. If they disrupt, because it's not just the military systems, it's also private sector systems that they have this malware. If they disrupt like electricity, energy, these sort of things, Americans will turn on themselves. Americans have already turned on themselves. They will eat each other alive. That's what fifth generation warfare is. They will get us to where they don't even have to fire around. A lot of these people, when I do these videos, you're like, oh, nothing's happening, because you're not seeing red dawn paratroopers dropping from the sky. They don't have to do that. That's not even the smart thing to do. Eat us alive, eat ourselves alive, and that's what we're doing, falling for. So anyway, thanks to CNN, right? But anyway, U.S. officials told the Times that the investigations into Chinese malware had been underway for several months prior, and that the malicious code has infiltrated military systems across the country and abroad. So even in our foreign military installations, they have got this malware in our systems. Are they in the nuclear weapons? I mean, how far does this go? So they said previously cyber attacks typically aim to surveil the U.S. operations, but China is steadfast and determined to penetrate our government, our companies, and our critical infrastructure, right? And we know that. We know, dude, if they destroy our infrastructure, Americans, like within 3 days, will be just devouring each other. There's no questions. So they're going to say that not only is this new wave of malicious code planned to be used to disrupt military tech, also civilian operations, maybe logistics, trucking, aviation, electronics, electricity, tons of things, right? And you know, you could even go on to say they don't even need EMP with this kind of stuff. You know, this would allow China to cut off power, water, and communications, cut off these things at military bases, and impact personal homes and businesses across the country. You know, that's what they can do with this stuff. This is very alarming, and why this isn't like we're so focused on all the wrong stuff. And this is by design. This is headed towards the collapse, in my opinion. I think that's where we're headed. I mean, they're going to, in history books on whoever the world leader is in the future, they're going to be talking about this era right now and how dumb Americans were to let their country just topple because CNN told them that mean tweets were bad. I mean, that's how dumb this is. So then I'm sure some of you guys have heard this, maybe not, because it's one of the most underreported things at the moment is they found a freaking Chinese lab within the US. Look at the headline. CDC detects coronavirus, HIV, hepatitis, and herpes at an unlicensed California lab. Now you see, they don't say anything in the headline, right? This is how the trickery is. Oh, we don't want to say China's bad because it's racist. They found 20 potentially infectious agents at a warehouse in Fresno County. Where do you see China at anywhere in here? Okay, we don't see it there. Local and federal authorities spent months looking at this Fresno County, California. They suspect it was a home to an illegal, unlicensed laboratory full of lab mice, blah, 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 blah. Still nothing with China. Still nothing. So you have to get deep into the article to get this China. So why would a COOF lab run by a shady Chinese company be operating in this rural town of California, right? The lab was supposed to be an empty building. Look at this thing. And it was discovered only because the city code enforcement officers went and saw a garden hose attached to the building and investigated. That's the only reason why they found this thing. How long has it been there? So Darren Frazier at the Mid-Valley Times earlier this week said the building had been illegally operated since October of 2022 by Wang Zhaolin of Prestige Biotech. And the lab was used to produce COOF tests and pregnancy tests. But why do they have HIV and all these other disgusting viruses there, right? So the city officials called the CDC, the FBI, the State Department, Toxic Substances Control. They called the Department of Health, the Department of Public Health, and the Department of Public Safety. They went on to say that they executed a warrant on March 16th. Now, why are you just now hearing about this July 31st? And a warrant was searched on March 16th. So they said that they discovered one room of the warehouse was used to produce COVID-19 and pregnancy tests. In other rooms, they found blood, tissue, and other bodily fluids, samples of various things. They had thousands of vials that had unlabeled fluids in it. So who knows what kind of freaking things they're engineering in there. Thousands of vials that were unlabeled. How did they even know what it was? Look at this place. How did they even know what was in the vials if they're unlabeled? They also had quote-unquote inhumane conditions for 773 of the mice that had been euthanized, and they found 178 mice already dead. Who knows what kind of freaking junk they were cooking up in this lab? Who knows what killed the mice? Maybe they're making some other kind of agent to spread out in America for the 5th generation warfare, right? Again, why is this not everywhere, all over the front page of every news? And you see, like I said, they say nothing about China. Look at this. Where do you see China in any of this? Here, no China yet. Just because, you know, you would just skim over this article and not think anything of it because they're not saying China. Chinese nationals were running a freaking covert lab in a rural place in America, right? And still yet, look, still here. Look, we're going down. Still nothing about China. Still nothing about China. Now here you see Prestige Biotech, but you don't see, okay, now we spoke to whatever this name is, was the company president, and that's it. So yeah, they're saying it was a defunct company, actually, that the company no longer even exists. So they don't even say anything. This is how corrupt news media is. In this article, they say nothing about China. It's a defunct company that has been shut down, and they're running a secret lab in the United States. How many of these damn labs are in your freaking county or town right now? That's the big question. How many of these are sitting in your freaking backyard and they're cooking up something to unleash on Americans? Yeah, better start paying attention in these rural towns, guys. Who authorized this lab? I'm sure they had to get some kind of something that somebody should ask a question. Did Newsom know about this? Gruesome Newsom, did he know about this? He probably gave him a grant. Let's be honest. Probably gave him some of your tax money. And you know we have a leprosy outbreak in Florida. Yeah, leprosy like from the Bible. maybe that was cooked up in one of those labs. And they don't want to tell you about it. They want to whitewash it in the news, so you don't even know it's Chinese nationals that are running secret covert labs with HIV, coof, and all kinds of other unlabeled stuff. You don't know what it is. Maybe the bubonic plague. You have no idea what these people are cooking up. You know they want to go to war with us. They're setting up their chessboard. They're flying freaking balloons over, doing whatever it is. They put malware on all our systems, and we're just gonna have like, oh yeah, another day. We just talked about, and I'm pretty sure I broke this news because I said it before, well before anybody else. The Chinese police stations. I said at least 2 months before anybody else did. Chinese police stations around the country. Not a peep from our people till months later, right? FBI isn't saying anything. I mean, they were literally harassing Chinese nationals here that moved here, threatening them to go back. But we're more worried about what color fingernail polish we wear in our camouflage uniform, or the sexual diversity of our leadership in the military. This is where we're at. So if you want to sit here and say it's clickbait to talk about America is collapsing, then you're an idiot. You're an idiot. You couldn't be hit in the face and realize that it is, because it is. There's a article that was published a while back. I just want to kind of talk about real quick. U.S. tipped to suffer major losses in open conflict with China, awakening a sleeping giant. And a lot of people say, no, we'd kick their behind. Really? I just showed you a dude last night talking about what color fingernail polish he could, about sound of country, fingernail polish he can wear a uniform to make himself feel girly, right? First line here, the United States would incur significant losses with war in China began. A study, potential consequences with conflict in Asia, saying that apparently we'd lose more people in 24 hours than we did all of the global war on terrorism. Yeah. No, in a month. Sorry. They also warned that U.S. losses in a month of conflict would surpass the casualties of war in Afghanistan over 20 years. In 1 month. They said the scale and suddenness of such losses would shock the U.S. population, unaccustomed to significant military losses. Of course it would. It's much different than fighting dudes out there in robes and rusty AK-47s wearing sandals. It's much different. So, yeah, it's especially we're looking at grid attacks. We're looking at biological attacks, destroying our infrastructure. America's attacking each other like they already are. It would be so much in just within our own borders against ourselves, not even before they fire a round off, they would destroy so much. EMP, all these things. This is not something that they figured out over drinking a couple beers. Like, they have been planning this for quite a long time. We're in a weakened state. We have a weak person sitting in the White House. Can't even call him president. He can barely frame a sentence. If he's still alive, let's be honest, we don't even know. They're using AI and people in masks. We've seen the mask stuff, right? Here we go. Nope. Commie Tube did not take guns away, bro. Go watch my video last night. I talked about it last night. Nobody's scared of Commie Tube. Anyway, and another thing on that, or Rumble, people like, go to Rumble. I've been on Rumble for like 2 years. Rumble is the most censored platform there is, most suppressed platform. I can't even get 10 views on there. It's a waste of time, not worth the energy. Every video is double. So anything we post here is posted over there as well. But it's not even worth the time to even open up the app, to be honest with you. They don't promote people at all. They don't promote their creators, except their paid creators, the ones that they have on payroll. And you'll notice, because they have their own camera crews and stuff like that, hired by Rumble. So yeah, I don't even waste my time with Rumble. People are always asking, go to Rumble. Rumble is a joke. Just like one of my tribe members just said there. Rumble is a joke. It's something to keep you from getting your voice heard. Really, in my personal opinion, what they're doing is marketing it up to try to sell it. Right? They're getting a couple big names of people they kicked off YouTube, and then they'll turn around and sell it to YouTube eventually, in my opinion. Yeah, I don't waste my time over there. Push Drew, thanks. But guys, this is serious stuff. I mean, they're hitting us on all these things. And not to mention the things you see around you, the propaganda. They own much of the media. They own lots of farmland. They own lots of companies within America. So yeah, I mean, this is not a joking matter. Yes, somebody just said that sleeper cells working in food distribution, train derailments, cranes, ports be shut down. Yep. You have no idea. Like, whatever you think right now of things they could do, they're already surpassed that, and probably 10 times more. And already have these things implemented. I mean, we catch spies in the country all the time. There's one in a Chinese spy I did a video on this, in the military with top secret clearance, a Chinese spy. Yeah. Because they wanted to have racial diversity, and they just pumped him in. That's how they do. Everything's in the name of diversity. Instead of just actually checking people's background, oh, just give them the job. Like, no, follow the procedures. These procedures are for our protection. We had these procedures in place. Anyhow, before I jump off tonight, I do want to say too, a lot of people, our med kits are the best ones. Like, I've tried all of them. That's why we make them. I wouldn't make it if it wasn't the best. People try to copy ours. They can't. Anyway, we have all of them in stock. I know this is usually it kind of deters people from weight, but I have a lot of them in stock right now, so you better jump on it. But anyway, our med kit is the best. Has Molly here, has a belt loop, so you can wear it on a belt. I like to wear mine in small on my back. We have some North American Rescue shears here. We partner with North American Rescue on all of our stuff here. And the pouch is made by Centerline Systems, an American veteran-owned company, and American-made, completely sewn here in America. Even the needles used to sew the product is American-made. But North American Rescue makes our medical components, like the cat tourniquet. It's the only one I really run. But you pull this open. What differentiates ours is that we have something, a pull tab here. You pull this and it ejects the kit. So if you're, bleeding, stressing to rest, if you've never been in a stressful situation where your life depended on it, you'll realize how valuable that is. But this is our kit made by North American Rescue. Has all the good stuff in there: combat gauze, nasopharyngeal, hyphen, chest seals, compact gauze, those sort of things. Sealed up. We made it where red tear right here, so sealed up. but the red tear, obviously stressing the rest. You don't want to have to think. You just see and tear, right? And again, the pull tab, it ejects the kit. And in the front here, it has another pocket. So I put like bandages, like just a lot of first aid stuff. So a lot of people make their med pouch only for gunshot wounds and massive trauma, which ours can take care of. That's what the initial design is. But when I'm hiking or backpacking or whatever, I want to be able to have moleskin, all that kind of stuff. So it has a pouch here, so to put that stuff. And then it has places for just various accessories. So for writing tourniquet times, you got a marker there, or if you're circling a target, what have you, a needle for decompression. And then I keep chem lights to obviously mark somebody, my buddy's bleeding, I can mark him, right? Things like that. Also keep a handcuff key in there as well, like a just in case. But anyway, those are in stock, so go grab them up. American made, and we use North American Rescue shears as well. Those are actually my old shears in there, so that's not the North American Rescue one. But the North American Rescue has an O2 wrench on there, so you EMTs, you know what I'm talking about, it's got an O2 wrench built into these shears. But like I said, our kit is the best. I'm not saying that being a braggart. It is the best. We designed it. It took us 2 years to design it. Come from people with real world experience. So anyway, guys, I'll grab you up one. Let me know your comments on this. And we love you too, Mama Bear. And as always, guys, remember to stay frosty, strapped, and dangerous. Please go leave a comment to help me fight the algorithm. It's been very nasty the past few days. Even my buddies are saying that I'm not showing up. I'm like, he's like, why didn't you make a video, dude? I'm like, I made one yesterday and the day before. I didn't get a notification. So leave a comment, help me fight the algorithm. Stay frosty, strapped, and dangerous. Take care.